Now next is asymptotic notations. To analyze the given algorithm, we need to know with which inputs the algorithm takes less time and with which inputs the algorithm takes long time. So we have already seen that an algorithm can be represented in the form of expressions, that is big of n cube, like this. Okay, that means we represent the algorithm with multiple expressions, one for the case where it takes less time and another the case where it takes more time. When the algorithm represented where the it takes less time, then it is called as best case. And when we represent algorithm in terms of when it takes the more time, it is called as worst case for the algorithm. So to analyze an algorithm, we need some kind of syntax, and that forms the base for asymptotic notations. There are three types of analysis. That is worst case, which defines the input for which the algorithm takes long time, that is slowest time to complete, and input is the one for which the algorithm runs slowest, that is called as worst case. Second is best case, defines the input for which algorithm takes least time, that is fastest time to complete. Input is the one for which algorithm run fast. And average case, it provides the prediction about running time of an algorithm. It runs the algorithm many times with different inputs. Okay, and generate these inputs, then compute the total running time for that inputs and divide it by number of trials. That is called as average. Assume that the input is random, so lower bound is less than or equal to average time is less than or equal to upper bound. Now all this we can say that worst case, base case and average case, these are the mathematical notations which are introduced to understand the running time performance of algorithm. And all these are nothing but the theoretical analysis. It doesn't require any actual implementation of algorithm. We can do this analysis on the algorithm or on the pseudocode. So, using these asymptotic notations, we can give the time complexity as fastest possible, slowest possible, and average. In other words, we can say that best case, worst case, and average case. As per that, there are three asymptotic notations. First is called as big O notation, then omega notation, and theta notation. Let us see what is meant by all these notations. Now, first is big O notation. So, big O notation, this notation gives the tight upper bound of algorithm, okay, of the given algorithm. Using this notation, we can give the longest amount of time taken by the algorithm to complete. It means what? Here, if there is a function f of n, where n is the positive number, okay, so it selects n value or input n in such a way that for that n, the algorithm will execute slowest, or for that n value algorithm will take a long time, takes the long time. Such type of input representation we can represent using big O notation. So it is called as the upper bound of algorithm. Okay, upper bound of algorithm. For example, if there is a array, in that array we have stored the elements one by one. Okay, now I want to search the element. Okay, consider one particular n element. That element I want to search. So I have taken that n element in such a way that it takes the long time for searching. For example, if that n element or that element is present at the end of array, that is, it's stored at the last location of array. So to search that last location element, what I have to do, I have to check from first location element to last location element. For searching from 0 to n, how many time it takes? N time. So to representing the algorithm in big O notation, we are selecting the n value in such a way that it takes long time for execution of that n value. Such type of representation are written in big O notation. In big O notation, and generally all algorithms are represented in big O notation. This big O notation, what it do, it represent the worst case of the algorithm. Now here, if there are two functions, f of n and g of n, where f of n is the function that is written by programmer and g of n is the arbitrary function. Okay. Now we can say that big of g of n is equal to, means f of big of g of n is equal to f of n. It means that this f of n we are competing with g of n if there exists a positive constant c and n0 such that 0 is less than or equal to f of n is less than or equal to c into g of n. That is, for f of f function, if n values varies from 0 to n, and the 0 to, for the 0 to n values, if the execution time is less than or equal to g of n, there is one arbitrary function g with some constant value c. If the execution time of this any n input value of f function is less than or equal to this g of n, then we can say f of n is in big O notation. Next is theta notation. Theta notation bounds it decides whether the upper bound and lower bounds of a given function are same. Okay. Whether the upper bound and lower bound of the given function are same, that is, the average runtime of an algorithm is always in between the lower bound and the upper bound. If the upper bound and lower bound gives the same result, then theta notation will also have the same rate of growth. Now, a simple way to get this theta notation, for example, if there is an expression, then for that expression, drop a lower order terms and ignore the leading constant. For example, expression is 3n cube plus 6n square plus 6000. How we will represent it in form of theta notation, that is big O, theta notation of n cube. How? So here drop the lower order, so lower order is 6000 and ignore the leading constant. So this 3 and 6 get ignored. Now what is remaining? N cube plus n square. Now this is the this is the upper bound and this is lower bound. Now we have to consider the value in between this two, upper bound and lower bound. Dropping lower order terms is always fine because there will always be a n0 after which theta n cube has a higher value than theta of n square. Okay. So from this n cube and n square, if we drop a lower bound, that is n cube n square, then the remaining part is nothing but the theta notation for the given example. Why this so? Why we have dropped this n square? Because it is always fine to drop the lower order, because there always be a n0 after which n cube has a higher value. N cube has the higher value. So if we drop this n cube, if we drop this n square, then the last or limit for the function is n cube still there. Okay, so that instead of dropping the higher value, we are dropping the lower value, so that the function execution time in between the lower bound and upper bound, that is the average. Now this is the mathematical expression for the theta notation, where theta of g of n, again this g of n is the arbitrary function for which we are computing our function, that is f of n. So f of n is equal to theta of g of n if there exists a positive constant c1 and c2. Now c1 and c2 are for lower bound and upper bound of function, and n0 such that 0 is less than or equal to c1 of g of n, c1 into g of n. Okay, and this function is less than or equal to f of n, where f of n is less than c2 into g of n. So f of n function is lies in between lower bound of g of n and upper bound of g of n with constant values c1 and c2. Next is omega notation.